Penultimate race of the 8-race card, the Betfair Exchange Beacons Handicap. It's the longest race of the evening too, an extended mile and 5. It's a 0 to 70. And this is the Bay Warrior. 7-time winner, Tyler Hurd, up for Mark Usher. He's won over 10 furlongs twice here, and over a mile and 3 and a mile 4 elsewhere. This is a new test for him. The way he's kept on over a mile and a half, especially when he won at Lingfield in September, suggested it's at least worth exploring, especially at a place that he's proven at. He can sit handy, he can lead. He's drawn well to do either, and Tyler Hurd knows him very well at this point. I think he'll do well in this. Personally, the Bay Warrior. I think it's worth exploring this step up in trip. Let's see who is behind him. I believe it's number 1, who's a fair way back, but is the next in sequence. This is Forza Timau. Thomas Greatrex up for Mark Pattinson. He's 2 from 22. He's running over the furthest he'll have ever been tonight as well. He's won over a mile and 3 in a small field at Southwell in April. He bolted up. Now, that was a muddling affair. That form hasn't worked out, and he's not advertised it either. He's been beaten in all 4 starts since. He's further up in trip now. He does have a turn of foot, so if this did turn tactical, then you could see him making a bit more of an impact. But while he's down to 70, which is £2 higher than his last winning mark, he's not really arriving in much form. He's had a short break. He's going to need to find his form again. A couple behind. Let's have a look at number 4. That's Cloaks of Gold, who is one of the 3-year-old fillies in the race. Marco Gianni up for David Evans. First time tongue tie on her. She's unexposed, but she's going to need to start improving fairly quickly. Just a second start for the new yard now with David. Stable debut was at Kempton. It was a fillies only handicap over a mile 3. She ran okay. She was never really competitive though. Connections immediately step her up and trip. It's not a strong contest. I guess it's just time to see some improvement from her. Behind her, the next in sequence is number 3. This is Must Believe. Alec Wojkanski now on board for Ismail Mohammed. Comes here off the back of a breakthrough win. Took 13 tries. Finally won at Kempton last time, though, over a mile and 3. He's another stepping up in trip. He's tried a staying trip just once before. It didn't go that well. He's beaten 12.5 lengths at Southwell over a mile and 6 on his penultimate start in July. Connections give him another crack. He's had a bit of time off, and we'll see how he gets on. Just heading down the chute now, pale blue colours, number 5, Cardinal Point, one of the only ones who is actually proven at this kind of trip. Number 5, positives for her chances for Cardinal Point. Hector Crouch looking for another winner on the card, this one for Michael Bell. The positives are she's arriving in good form, she's consistent, this is a weak enough race for the grade, she gets in off a low weight. Is she well handicapped off 61? Probably not. Is that going to matter in here? I'm not sure it will do. She's versatile enough in terms of how she can run. She can sit close up, she can take a lead. I thought she has a big chance in here under Hector. And it just feels like her consistency, Tom, could well be rewarded. It's the longest race of the evening. Plenty of them unproven at the trip. It has the potential to be a bit of a muddling affair, and Cardinal Point has at least shown some tactical pace. And I half wondered, Tom, if Hector Crouch might just take Cardinal Point to the lead and actually make this a test, given that his horse is proven over these kinds of trips. Almost none of the rest of them can say it. And the fact that if it did turn into a race that where gears were needed, she wouldn't be best placed necessarily. So maybe she has possibilities of heading forward from 4. That's assuming that maybe one of the jockeys in there will be fully confident of their horse's ability to stay the trip, or at least in a what could turn out to be a sit and sprint affair. The Bay Warrior, I thought, made most appeal at prices, but it's not a race I particularly like to get involved in. I thought Cardinal Point has a favourite's chance. She has more to offer than most. Is, as Steve was saying, the most solid in here. So we'll have to see exactly how they got on. Cardinal Point hasn't been doing a massive amount wrong. We'll see if she can get back in the winners' enclosure now in the company of Richard Hoyles.
Thanks, Anthony. Yet one to go, and that is Cloaks of Gold. So 5 runners for the Betfair Exchange Beacons Handicap, 1 mile, 5.5 furlongs in front of the field, and they leave the stalls. Missing it slightly on the inside, the Bay Warrior, just a little bit slow to warm up, but there's no great pace on early. The stars and stripes of Cloaks of Gold and Marco Gianni set the pace, but appears something of a reluctant leader. The Bay Warrior moving up on the inside, and then 3 wide is Must Believe. 4th place for Cardinal Point, and early on it's Forza Timau, who is at the back of the pack. Glance over the shoulder from Must Believe's rider Alec Wojhanski, just wants to get a bit of cover. Still out in front, Cloaks of Gold under tight restraint, has just about been joined by the Bay Warrior. Early pace has not been strong. 3rd for Must Believe, who's now slotted in behind the duo of leaders. Cardinal Point has always held that position, and you can see the body language of both riders is that they don't want to go any faster up front. Indeed, the Bay Warrior, Tyler Hurd, wants to hand up the lead at this stage to Cloaks of Gold, who was obliged and gone on by a length. The Bay Warrior on the inside, he is under tight restraint, disputing 2nd with Must Believe, and they've still got a circuit to go with Cardinal Point racing in 4th, and last of all is Forza Timau. Cloaks of Gold it is who'll lead the turn away, and still just setting a very sedate pace indeed. 2nd for Must Believe on the outside of the Bay Warrior. Cardinal Point, who was tracking the leaders on the rails, has moved off the fence in the pale blue to sit in 4th place, and still Forza Timau at the back is under hefty restraint. So out in the lead it is Cloaks of Gold. Marco Gianni still keeping a tight hold. 2nd on the outside is Must Believe, the Bay Warrior, Cardinal Point, and Forza Timau. So they've just about completed a circuit. Cloaks of Gold has led for the majority of it, was joined for a while by the Bay Warrior, but still continues to saunter along, unpressed down the back straight. On the outside is Must Believe, on the inside the Bay Warrior. No change in the play with Cardinal Point and Forza Timau, and still several of these riders keeping a tight hold of their horses. It'll turn into a dash for the staying race as they prepare to leave the back straight. Cloaks of Gold has the lead. On the outside, Must Believe, still the Bay Warrior under a tight grip. Then in 4th place is Cardinal Point. Last of the 5 is Forza Timau. Pace just begins to lift round the home turn. Cloaks of Gold it is who has the lead, trying to lead this out from Must Believe in 2nd place. Then the Bay Warrior and Cardinal Point. And now Cloaks of Gold tries to strike and go for home. In 2nd place, the Bay Warrior is now being asked for the effort. And then back in 3rd is Must Believe at Cloaks of Gold's dictated and has got a slight break. Through the field, Cardinal Point has to switch to the inside of the Bay Warrior, and Cloaks of Gold continues to keep up the gallop. The Bay Warrior, Cardinal Point are in pursuit. Cloaks of Gold has the lead. Cardinal Point, the last challenger, towards the inside the final half furlong. Cloaks of Gold from Cardinal Point, challenging on the inside all the way to the line. Close. Cloaks of Gold and Cardinal Point pulled clear of the Bay Warrior, and Must Believe, closest finish of the night.
In a race that was farcically run, we have a photo finish. Cloaks of Gold near side, Cardinal Point far side. Heads up, heads down. Oof. I'll wait for official confirmation, personally. But whatever happens, Cardinal Point has done extremely well to get into this contest. On that evidence, she might have won off 61. Here we go. 5 confirmed. Cardinal Point, Hector Crouch at the double. Michael Bell, the winning trainer, Midland Park Racing, and partner, the winning owner, justifying favouritism despite everything going against her. I mean, she was held up. She wasn't necessarily the quickest away, and she found herself in a position that was going to be hard to overcome. Marco Gianni has ridden a fine race from the front aboard Cloaks of Gold, who has run well, but everything has gone right for Cloaks of Gold. Very little has gone right for Cardinal Point. They were walking in the early part of this race, 13-second furlongs or thereabouts. At one point, I think I saw a sectional of 13.50. I mean, that's farcically slow. And it's turned into a sprint. Cardinal Point wouldn't have wanted that, Tom. Has still managed to come out on top. If you back the favourite, you have just copped despite being against the odds.